The valuable benefits I gain by not watching the news. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 99 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com. The valuable benefits I gain by not watching the news is inspired by events that took place following a period in my life that was very challenging. It was following divorce and following issues with business partners. And one of the things that I know many people deal with or challenged with is all of the constant negative inputs that go into your mind. And I want to share something in an extremely brief episode of a reason that I have decided to do something that many would say is counterintuitive, or sometimes even it's just sometimes a little bit like insane to be able to do. But I want to share why I gain benefit by not watching the news consistently. And as I mentioned, like in 2024, I realized that I made a very conscious choice, because by making the choice that I did, I started to feel much more energetic, much more focused, and I overall felt a lot better and more alive, right? Because all these different global events that were happening, and you pick the global event, I don't even want to name them because there are so many that are happening around the world and were happening then and continue to happen that keep people consistently divided, polarized. Some of it is by choice, and others, well, sometimes it just happens. And and this is, I will use one kind of description, but it doesn't matter whether you walk into somebody's house and they're watching CNN or they're watching Fox. It doesn't really matter, right? The whole point is I want to share something with you that I believe has helped me a lot. And I know that it's going to be a valuable benefit to you as well, especially if you are thinking about how do you remain and stay positive, stay more focused. This is one of the best ways to do it, because at this point in my life, I started to look for more sources of positivity and inspiration for others and to others. And I realized that at the end of the day, the more that I could share with my sons specifically and other loved ones who trusted me to be a beacon of positivity, then this was the thing that I wanted to do. And I tried to figure out what one of the best ways to do this would be. So I started reflecting on a comment that I made, as I said, after going through divorce, to figure out how I would become even more focused on the positive aspects of life and the kindest aspects of life. And one of the ways that I realized like there's always stuff on in the background, and always lots of conversation around what is happening globally in the world with the events. And I found that many of them had a connotation or a focus that was negative. And I decided, well, you know what? One of the ways that I can start to find more kindness, find more positivity in my life and in those that are the closest to me, was to begin to realize, how do I curate, meaning how do I hand select what goes into my brain, right? And that, when I started realizing, like, oh my gosh, this is one of the best ways to do it, because rather than being passive, passively allowing the news on in the background, and I'm using the news specifically and for a reason, it's just on in the background, you're not doing much, but all of that, the connotations of what is being said go into your mind, and they were going into my mind. So I decided to do something about it. Yep, I sure did. And I decided that I was not going to unconsciously allow something to sit in the background that was very much tilted towards one way or another. And it wasn't actually affecting the day-to-day lives of the people that I cared about the most, right? My children, my loved ones. And so having made this conscious decision of not intaking news, or specifically looking out for a type of news that I believed would be informative, right? That's what I would do. And I would avoid conversations that were ill-informed, like speaking with people that didn't have an idea about what was going on, or that they were convinced that they were not really trying to have an exchange of ideas, but really convince me about their idea. I stop those conversations as well. I do not engage in those conversations, because if they are ill-informed from the individual, or it's not an exchange of ideas, it's you're trying to convince me to do this. That was very much like the news that was going on in the background. And I cut that out, because I want to focus on positivity and kindness. That's what I want. And so I want to be happy. I want to be informed. And so I realized, like, but Billy, you're out there, you're in the public sphere, you're talking about things. How can you not be aware of what's going on in the world? I didn't say I wasn't aware of what was going on in the world. I said I chose to stop watching the news passively, right? Because I want to stay informed. I just wanted to avoid everybody else's opinion, and I wanted to make it easy. And so I also realized that the main stuff that's happening in the world, that's going to get to me anyway, because people want to talk about all the stuff that's happening, the sensational stuff. And so then after the sensational stuff would arrive to me, even if it was a couple of days later, my question was, is this an informed conversation? Or are you trying to convince me? And what is actually happening here that can be a positive exchange of ideas? And if that didn't if there was not a positive exchange of ideas, then guess what happened? Billy didn't enter into the conversation. Kindness, positivity, and happiness. So here's what I will say to that. I just want to let you know that it is okay to not be up on the latest and greatest of the sensational stuff that's happening in the world. It is okay to curate, meaning hand select the information that goes into your mind and set the criteria for how you will continue to be informed. I've started on the path. I continue on the path. I have not done it perfectly, but the reduction of noise into my brain is drastically down. The increase of happiness, positivity, and being able to be informed in an educated way is way up, right? And that's what I want to share with you, because sometimes we may not give ourselves the grace to say, oh, it's okay. Like I'm proactively sharing with you. I don't take in the news passively. I just don't do that anymore. And I've realized that what it helps me do, the benefits of not only, number one, I have the power to choose what is actually actively going into my brain. I'm feeding my mind with positive, highly curated news, information, whether those are streams, through podcasts, so that I can actually shine and be the bright light that I want to be and continue to be. And I know that you want that, because that's what you're listening for. And so the things that you can choose for yourself actively and be able to continue to be more informed and be open to having exchanges of ideas, even if you do not agree, it helps to bring us to being much more informed, kinder to one another. Even if you don't agree, there's many times I may not agree with something someone says, but coming at it from a purpose of high energy, positivity, kind, informed, it just gives everybody an opportunity to have all of these valuable benefits. So this is what's working for me. Maybe for you, it's not the news, it's something else, but give yourself the grace to be able to make those decisions so that you can continue to have more benefits of the choice of feeling that you are in control of what is going into your mind, therefore what is coming out of your mouth, out of your energy. It's a game changer. And I'll probably do this for quite a long time because I feel better, got more pep in my step. Can you feel it? I do. Well, listen, if you know that there's someone who is struggling with this, that they are low energy, zonked out because they constantly have all this negative stuff going into their mind, share today's episode with them. Share it with them. And then go from sharing it to actually getting on the phone, talking to them, meeting them for coffee. It's awesome. It's amazing. And while you are that agent of change that is helping your loved ones, the person that you care about, make an experience of transformation that they're looking for, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be right here working on another episode to share with you, to help you, so that we can continue to bond. And so with that, I just want to say thank you very, very much. And I'll be here preparing for the next episode. Thank you very much. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 99 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.